The political and public debate over the Common Core in public education. The Common Core State Standards Initiative is a collection of educational standards in English language arts and mathematics for students in grades K through 12 in the system of public education in the United States. The educational standards that make up the Common Core are designed to prepare students for college and the workforce. In many cases, the standards have been misrepresented. The standards do not tell teachers what to teach. The Common Core is not a curriculum. It is a set of educational goals and expectations to help students succeed. Adoption of the Common Core is voluntary for all states. The Common Core itself is not backed by the federal government, but the federal government does have a role in the entirety of the public education systems. It was created in 2009 by members of the Council of the Chief State School Officers and the National Governors Association. 42 states currently adopt all of the Common Core standards for state public schools, while 4 do not adopt it or have removed it, and 1 state uses standards for only one content area. The Common Core was originally intended to be an initiative to help students obtain the knowledge and the skills necessary to advance in college, career, and life. As the system gained momentum, it emerged as a topic for discussion in the political stratosphere. The Republican Party tends to favor state control over public education systems, and while the Common Core doesn't give states control over curriculum, it is a set of the same national standards, which puts off the majority of the party. Majority is against the core standards with desires to block entire funding, and some candidates like the standards, but not the program itself. In the current 2016 presidential election, the Republican frontrunner Donald Trump says the Common Core is a disaster. He proposes removing funding for the entire Department of Education and believes there's too much government spending on public educational programs. He wants less public education and federal involvement and more local and state control. The majority of the Democratic Party supports the Common Core, favoring greater federal involvement in public education or readjusting core standards or their implementation in states. The party wants to raise support and funding for public educational programs. The party also favors creating greater opportunities for students all around the country to obtain equal education. The Democratic frontrunner for the 2016 election, Hillary Clinton, is in favor of a set of national standards for all public schools across the country. This is essentially the Common Core, but because of the Core's misrepresentation in the media and its muddled intent, she suggests implementing a similar system that readjusts the standards to make them more nationally accepted. Bernie Sanders has previously voted against repealing the standards themselves, but has not directly stated his support of the Common Core system. He favors more federal involvement in all education systems. Also, both candidates favor greater funding for public education across the board. The public also has a voice in the debate over the Common Core. Students, parents, and teachers all across the country are directly affected by implementing the state standards. Opponents argue that although the standards are not a curriculum, the increase in testing due to their implementation influences instructors to teach to state tests or specific standards instead of focusing solely on helping students gain knowledge. The public also presents the argument that the standards are a one-size-fits-all approach to education, and propose alternatives to the Common Core, such as consortium schools, which rely on performance-based assessments instead of standardized testing. Conclusion. The Common Core has impacted the public nationally and locally, creating political controversy. Its original intent has been lost through misrepresentation, changes in implementation, and political disagreements. In my opinion, the Common Core has become more of a problem than a solution. Keeping in mind that each student is influenced by their location, resources, capabilities, and economic stability, I believe a different approach is necessary. The Common Core sets the standard for all public schools in the entire nation, and as a student who is directly affected by the systematic testing and learning goals, the standard is a difficult one to match. I think it's important to involve the students teachers, and parents, and the overall public to figure out what kind of program would best suit public schools nationally.